G'day everyone. Today we're out in nature making a video. Um, got a new phone the universe set me up with, so now we can make some videos anywhere. Um, Today's video is going to be more of an authentic share and just like an inspiring conversation about Tesla, someone that I think a lot of people in the spiritual community have heard a lot about, and there's some people that I know who just don't know him at all. So I want to talk about Nikola Tesla, and he's the man who is responsible for pretty much everything awesome that we have today. Maybe not absolutely everything, but pretty much all the appliances, the power lines that bring electricity to your house, um, your light bulb, everything was pretty much comes back to this man, this extremely creatively gifted person. And the reason why he was so special was because um, if you read back into his autobiography, you'll find that as a kid, something troubled him, and that was the fact that anytime someone mentioned a word or a symbol, such as, say, tree, he couldn't help but visualize a tree so vividly. So he saw words as like almost these hacking, like a hacker input, where if you say a word, the other person has no choice but to visualize that somehow. And we all do that differently, whether it's through feeling, vision or sound or smell. But he was very visually gifted, and so he could actually visualize things in front of him and create inventions in this physical plane. So he could actually see the inner workings of a motor in his imagination, in his hallucination, and create it, and then remember that, and then apply it to the real world. So he essentially mastered creativity to create some of the world's most prolific inventions. And so, he made alternating current, which is an electricity that when you look at it in a waveform, it goes up and down, it alternates. And this allows it to travel vast distances. So direct current is just a straight line. It's like a beam of energy, but it's not very efficient for traveling across large areas. So if we had that in our power lines, it would be nowhere near as efficient, and we'd have to burn, who knows how much more coal and everything to power those. I don't even think it would be possible, but so yeah, and then he created the electric motor, which powers, blenders, pretty much everything, washing machines, even Tesla cars, anything that spins in a circle, that's an electric motor. And then the motor also reverse engineers to be a generator. So our generators are pretty much just the inverse of a motor. So you can spin a coil and that generates electricity. So pretty much that's his accomplishments. But also, I think what a lot of people don't get told about, and I read this in a book about Tesla, is that he actually had a vision for everything. He actually kind of thought of everything. And his vision of free energy isn't exactly what everyone thinks it is. Like, sure, we'll get to a point in humanity where we will be able to tap into the Earth's electromagnetic frequency and get like free energy, but at the same time nothing is really free. And I want to explain that he had a holistic approach. So he had ideas for farming, he had ideas for production of certain motors and all these things, to streamline these things so much that it's basically free energy. So he had this idea to use man-made lightning to release nitrogen in the soil, or to create a nitrogen fertilizer. And so this would basically make fertilizer extremely cheap, and we would have no shortage of food. And all these things, and like frequency healing, and using frequency to create a good culture within our soil, so that we could actually grow vegetables and food much more efficiently. And he was also a vegetarian, I believe. So yeah, he had a multifaceted approach. And with his wireless electricity, It's actually that tower that you probably see with that looks like a mushroom. That actually sends electricity up into the atmosphere, and electricity is actually able to travel freely up in the high layers of the atmosphere, and it has virtually no resistance, or I think a very small amount of resistance, whereas copper wire has about, I want to say, a 30 to 40% resistance, meaning when you send electricity down a copper wire, it's losing 30 to 40% of that electricity you originally burnt coal for. So you're losing, while this electricity is traveling to your house, we're losing almost half of it. So just using the wireless electricity would greatly, greatly improve the efficiency. Like, it would cut emissions in half, like almost, pretty much, because you wouldn't need to burn as much coal to create as much electricity, because it's way more efficient. And so in this way, by making everything more and more efficient, that's actually where the free energy sort of comes from. And the fact that when you would transfer this electricity wirelessly, it'd make it really hard for electrical companies to measure who's getting that and where it's going, because there's no wires, there's no hard evidence of, this electricity is going here through a wire. It's just wireless through the air. So basically, it kind of would be like free energy. There'd be no choice but to make it free, but it would be so efficient that you wouldn't need to charge for it anyway. And that by giving everyone this free energy and making sure all their bases are covered, by doing that, you're going to have a population of people who are actually free to create more cool stuff. And I think that's how we get to free energy. That's how we get to harnessing the electromagnetic frequency of the earth to create electricity and all these things that we need. Is that, we start off down Tesla's path, and then all of a sudden more and more of our time is freed up so that we can be the creative beings that we are meant to be, so that we can free each other. And yeah, so basically, Tesla was a very creative guy, and I hope this inspires you to look into your own creativity, look into lucid dreaming and hallucinations, how you can actually use your mind to create things, whether it's art, whether it's inventions, or whatever. Like, it's all contributing to us freeing each other and escaping. And I'll share one last thing. It's I believe it's Tolkien. He said everyone was, because I think he wrote Lord of the Rings during the war or something like this. I'm not sure exactly. But everyone was sort of making fun of him because he was writing an escapist novel, and it was just fantasy escapism. But he says, if you're a prisoner of war, which we kind of are in this realm, we're all prisoners. All of us don't want to voluntarily just like go to work and give our time away to someone else. So we're kind of being coerced to pay for electricity, pay for all these things like food. We're being coerced, so we're kind of in a prison, right? And he says, when you're a prisoner of war, your only objective is to escape and bring as many people as you can with you. And that's what he did with his book. So even if you're creating art, even if you're creating music, anything like this, you're rounding up the people and you're helping them escape with you. So keep on it, and I hope this inspires you, and have a good one.